Hello and welcome. I'm Eyeglass Tyler. I'm talking about progressives. We see and hear a lot of questions around progressives, and we get it. They can be a little confusing, a little intimidating, and so I'm trying to answer some questions, hopefully quickly and concisely. Right now I'm talking about progressives versus lenticular lenses. It's a little bit of a confusing question because they're not combative lens features. Progressives are actually more of a lens design, and lenticular is more of a lens feature. They can actually exist side by side. They can go together, and so I think maybe people hear terms. There are a lot of terms in the optical world that can be a little confusing, and again, like I said, intimidating. With progressives, what you're getting is a multifocal. So it is a lens type that caters to the eye condition that is presbyopia. That is an age-related eye condition that means that you need reading glasses effectively. People are pretty familiar with that, I think. As we all get older, we start needing reading glasses because of presbyopia. And progressive as a multifocal is a way to cater to that problem with eyewear. The lenticular lens feature is a solution for extreme prescriptions. I'm not talking to those people who say, I have a really strong prescription, I'm a -3 or I'm a +2. These are for really extreme prescriptions where they otherwise wouldn't be able to make your lenses work in a frame. What they do with the lenticular lens feature is they have to add material and or minimize the viewing area. Because what you get, and I'll kind of get into some of the nitty gritty here, which it gets really hard to explain this without getting a little bit techie. But it is a method of essentially making those really strong prescriptions work in a larger lens. With a minus prescription versus a plus prescription, you're going to have a little bit of a different approach. It's easier to understand with a flatter lens, and you'll see it's kind of like adding a bit of material like they do with a bifocal or a trifocal, where you'll see a little bit of lens sticking out of the front of the lens. But it varies based on the lens curvature. So a prescription is determined by taking the front lens curvature and the back lens curvature together. So a little bit of an example. The base curve is the term that we use for the curvature of the front lens. If you have a 6 base curve on the front and an 8 curve in the back, that gives you a -2 prescription. If you do a 6 base curve on the front and a 4 curve on the back, it's a +2. So you see that deviation from that base curve and the back curve gives you your prescription. Starts getting a little bit hairy when you get into these extreme prescriptions. Like, let's make that front lens a little bit flatter. If you have a 4 base curve on the front and you have a 14 curve on the back, that's a -10. Which, if you think about the curvature of an 8 base, which is already pretty wrapped, and you make it almost double as curved, it gets really intense, and you don't end up actually having enough thickness in your typical lens puck to manage that. So what you have to do is you have to minimize the area, and then what you have is a little bit of a bowl. That's why oftentimes you'll see lenticular aligned with lenticular bowl, because effectively what they do is they make that viewing area smaller by carving out a little bowl so that they can manage that 14 back curvature without going through the front of the lens. Now, on the plus side of things, if you have a 4 base curve on the front and you're trying to get a +8, that would mean you need a -4 curve on the back, which is essentially actually a biconvex lens. And while you'll see that on rare occasions, usually the better approach is by doing, like I said, and adding material to the front side of that lens so that you have more material that you can take out of the back side, so you don't have to have a biconvex lens. Gets a little bit involved, but suffice it to say, if you have a progressive lens, you can also have a lenticular lens. This got really techie, and I don't know that I even sufficiently answered all of it, but hopefully you are less confused now. So that wraps it up for what I think makes sense to get into with progressives versus lenticular lenses. Again, like I said, hopefully you're less confused now. At least have a little bit more information. Most likely it doesn't even apply to you because lenticular lenses are not super common. But I mean, maybe if you're looking at this, then it does apply to you and you have a little better understanding. Anyway, if you do have any questions, you can always reach out to our opticians because they would love to help you. And if you've been spying this little frame here that I snuck in, this is a SportRx Huckson Huckson. It's a frame we design and we make, and we're very proud of it. So there's that. If you are interested in this, hey, stick around for a moment longer. We'll have an easy to click shop now button. And by the way, if you order from SportRx, thanks to our See Better guarantee, you're never stuck with something you don't like or just doesn't work for you. You actually have as long as 45 days with them, even if you get them in prescription. To figure that out, we just want you to be happy. So we will take care of you no matter what that means on our end. You can always reach out to us. And we have opticians, by the way, also who would love to help you. They're friendly, they're knowledgeable, and they love hearing from you. So let them help you get it right the first time. That's what they're there for. Yeah, why not? Thank you so much for watching. I hope this is interesting or valuable information. If so, throw us a like because that helps us out. You can find relevant videos over here if you are ready to shop, which why not? Check us out right here. And if you're looking for more content to consume, as we all are these days, you should check us out on all the social media outlets. You can find us at the handle @SportRx.